Patigi community in Kwara State is a largely agrarian society cultivating rice and other agricultural produce. However, the outgoing rainy season has left them in penury, as thousands of hectares of rice farms were left devastated. Now, this annual ritual of losses has left a bitter tale on the lips of the affected.
Rice farming in Patigi local government in Kwara State has become second nature for the people of the locality and a major source of their earnings. While the farmers look forward to harvesting their produce after a season of toiling, the unexpected happened. Flood, occasioned by the rains, came upon them, submerging over 2,000 hectares of farmland, causing monumental damage. According to some of the affected farmers who put their individual losses at between 500,000 and 4 million naira, the rice was due for harvest before the devastating flood left them in penury.
Many of the people, they do the rice, plenty anywhere here. But when the water is coming, it destroyed all the rice, nothing remain of the rice. So people, they are suffer plenty for that of the, for the water, this area. Some spend about 500,000, it's over. Some spend the 700,000 for the farm.
Other farm produce such as maize, guinea corn, and even fish farms were also affected. And now the people are requesting for help from the federal government.
We have two categories of affected. There are some people that is going to affect their farms, and it's going to affect their houses. There are some people who is going to affect their farms, but it's not going to affect their houses. So we're appealing to the federal government to come to our aids. In my farmland, I spent over 250,000 by clearing. I'm not talking of the seed I planted. And I planted about 7 to 8 bags of rice, which one was sold at that time 25,000 per bag. I lost not less, personally, I lost not less than 2 million in my farm.
When the incident occurred, the local council authority, which appeared overwhelmed by the magnitude of the losses incurred, could only appeal to the affected residents to evacuate and move to a safer environment.
The local government received red alert and decided to swing into action by sending emissaries to all communities, all settlements along the river bank, that they should evacuate. They should leave their various settlements so as to avoid loss of lives. And in addition to that, we also decided to arrange press conference to give it a wider publicity, so that government at all levels and even philanthropists could come in to assist the victims of the disaster.
Few weeks after the flooding, life appears to be returning to the community as the farmers attempt to recover from their losses. Meanwhile, a member of the Presidential Committee on Flood Relief and Rehabilitation is on ground to assess the situation. He begins from the palace of the traditional ruler and thereafter proceeds to the ravaged rice farm. The traditional ruler, Ibrahim Chata Umar, is worried about this recurring flooding that has left his people in ruins. He claims that the opening of dams is a major cause of the flood.
To solve the problem of perennial flooding, and most importantly, dredging. Secondly, channels. It's like here, we have our name, top of the hill. We are on top of a hill. So definitely, water will be flowing to lowlands. And then they will have to, if they don't have their channels, they will create one. That's why we have gully erosions.
The office is already working on some relief materials. They are collating the states that have been affected for flood 2014, and they are working on that. And I'm sure the government will come to their aid very soon.
A temporary shelter had been built by the federal government to house displaced residents. It hasn't been put to use yet because the people find it unsuitable. Furthermore, at this IDP camp, which was awarded for construction 3 years ago, the visiting team is taken aback by some shoddy work done. As far as the inspection team is concerned, this is absolutely unacceptable.
We are trying to elevate their problem. You will not believe the same community are stealing the part of the materials given to them to relieve their people. We won't believe that, but that is Nigeria for you. Well, what we think we have to do, state governments wrote the Nigeria police, civil defense, and even vigilante to give us a security man that will be here permanently so that the source will not repeat itself again.
The contractor, who blames the setbacks on vandalism, has been given 2 weeks to put finishing touches to the project. As Patigi residents await what becomes of the annual ritual of losses, they are also hoping that the needful is done to the camp projects as soon as possible.